fuck going on, y'all? It's episode 10, second half playoff push for the White Sox in year 3, 2026. There's nothing much to highlight here besides the fact that we have a shit minor league system I was looking at. Made a new filter called Youngins. It's 21 and younger. We have a grand total of 10 players, I believe that is, maybe 11, of 2.5 star potential or better at Young. Admittedly, the first few drafts have been dog shit for everybody. We'll look through them, though. We got Schuyler Sanford, who I think still could be a big leaguer. Although you'll notice that he's furious because the single A Kannapolis Cannonballers are dog shit. So be better. You've got a 6.5 ERA. Let's look through them, though. Ezra Essex, who we drafted last year, he looks fine still, playing rookie ball. Cale Fountain, who looks bad. Any of these guys, to be honest, could be traded. None of these guys I'm attached to. Anthony Gutierrez, who was not ranked as a top prospect when we claimed him on waivers, but has grown into one. So that's pretty fun. Adam Height, who looks mid. Chris Levinas, who is our fifth overall pick, first rounder in your first year. I still think there's something there because as a reliever, if we gave him a better fastball, this would be a fine player. But as a starter, he has not looked great. He's developed negatively. But you never know. He's only 20. Javier McGowan, who was here when we took over the organization, mid. Jacob Parker, who was a fourth rounder last year. He looks fine, to be honest. Ryan Sloan, who was a second rounder in year 1, looks fine as well. Levi Sterling, 8th rounder in first year, looks fine. And that's it. Jackson Baker. That is hilarious. I know it, Jackson Baker. International, though, we have 2 5-star potential guys who we've signed, first and second year off season. Of course, Zachary Grumont, whose scouting accuracy has went to low, so we're doing a re-up on him. And Duilio Serrano, who I would, again, number 11 prospect in ball. He should be unreal in like 5 years. I also didn't realize we discovered, kind of the game did it for us on April 9th. Jesus Guevara, who looks like he could be a pretty plus defender at third, except that he's a shitter. So he might be a trade fodder as well. Anyways, we are here. We are 6 games over 500. We are half a game back of Los Tigres. And we are going to march on. Hopefully we get Luis Robert back healthy and not with any setbacks in a week or so. And hopefully we can pitch better. DL Hall's been up and down forever. He was called up when he met Chirullo, went on the IL. So yeah, that's the kind of recap of what's going on here. We are going to get our first round pick, CJ Sampson, in single A in his rookie year as a 19-year-old. He is both going to hit third, play left, and be our ace on this team. This is his hitting potential ratings, and these are his pitching potential ratings. If one of those sides of the ball can turn out well, I'll be happy. Problem is, this organization is not good. The bullpen, honestly, is fine relative to where the offense is, but I'm going to sign a few minor league free agents to hopefully fill that out and play better. Anyways, I will continue on. Good news, Louis Bob is back, which means Carlos Jorge is going down to AAA. Louis Bob is in. And what we're going to do here is move Zabala to left, Soto to DH, and Louis Bob to right. This is a pretty long lineup at this point, We're going to go Soto, Colson, Louis Bob. Zavala's hitting pretty well, man. We'll go Zavala cleanup, Ke'Bryan, then Danny. And then versus lefties, Soto again is going to come to DH. I'm going to let Zavala hit versus lefties, even though I don't love it, to be honest. We're just going to hit him lower in the lineup. We're going to move him up. It's going to be Soto, Wilkin, who's crushing lefties. 936 OPS. We're happy with that. Soto, Wilkin, Colson, Louis Bob, Danny Jansen, Ke'Bryan, Arias, Zavala, Pache. That's a pretty good looking lineup. The only other thing to change here is we need a backup first baseman who can be Juan Soto, actually. These two I'll deal with very quickly. But yeah, that's good news. All-Star rosters have been announced, and we have 2 All-Stars this year. 3, 2, and 2, I believe, by year we've had. George Kirby makes his second career All-Star game, and Colson Montgomery makes his first. That's pretty awesome to see. Colson's having a great year for us. He's getting on base 40% of the time. He's on pace for 109 walks. One name I have no idea who it is, by the way, is Luis De Leon. Should I know who this is? I don't. Everyone else I know. There's a couple crazy years that people are having. Jackson Holiday, on pace for 7 WAR. Marcelo Myers on pace for 8. Bobby Witt Jr. would be on pace for 8, but he just got a hip injury. Evan Carter's having a crazy year. Aaron Judge is having a crazy year. And in the NL, Bradley Blaylock is made an all-star team for the Brewers. He has a 2.4 ERA. Good for you, Bradley. Yoshinobu Yamamoto, shockingly, is on pace to win 17 games again. I like to see Gabe Spire there. Erod's having a good year. Wow, oh my goodness. Ellie's on pace for 11 WAR. Yup, that's just ridiculous. Jordan Walker is a GOAT in this. He's on pace for 7 WAR again. PCA on pace for 7 WAR again. Bunch of good years. I want to point out something interesting, and that is the trade block. Look at all these crazy names. I would love to go out and get a Gosman or a Springs, but A, they're expensive, and B, we don't have prospects to trade like that. You can't trade recently drafted players until the offseason, so that would make it tough. And I also don't really want to give up Julio Severino or Gutierrez or Zavala, so we'll see. But we are a game back, and we are a game out of the wild card spot as well. Himet Chirullo is back. I sent down Davis Martin. He's going to take DL Hall's rotation spot, and DL Hall is going to go back into a middle relief specialist role. We are playing the Tigers. This is a huge series. We won game 1, 3-1. Sergio Herrera was pretty good. Our bullpen was unreal. That is the big thing with this team is runs against second, right? That's how I build my teams, and that's how I can find continued success on a lower budget is good pitching and good defense, and that is what we are doing here. Plus 23 zone rating and second in runs against, third in starters and bullpen. I'm happy to see that. This is a huge series, though. We faced Tariq Skubal, their ace, in game 1, but we crushed lefties. And we face Bailey Ober here and Jackson Jobe in the third game. The Tigers are a pretty good team. If we make the playoffs, it would not shock me if we saw them. But that's still an F, We have to have a good second half here. But again, since that 3-13 start, we are 52-31. That is not bad at all. You've missed nothing. I just clicked on the mail and I read this. Remember the off-season episode, Nick Nastrini had a poor outcome in whatever it was. I think it was improved secondary pitches, which we got that message saying he has strain on his arm. Well, here we go. He is complaining that he feels no power in his throwing arm. So what's going to happen is he's going to become wrecked, I believe, or just might have his career-ending injury soon or something. Apparently no one's listening on our team, which is crazy. And it seems unlikely either side trusts the other, so he might have to get shipped out of here if we can find anything. But this is not a good situation, considering he's one of our better pitchers. Look at the 3 ERAs he's given us in the 3 years. He's been pretty good here. So overall, not good. But, the other things around the league, I guess a star closer, Tanner Scott, who was on the trading block, just signed an extension with the Braves. Good for them. But yeah, not good. We are coming off of a massive, massive sweep of the Los Angeles Dodgers, in which we got 3 great starts from Nastrini, Perez, and Chirullo. Not Perez. Who am I talking about? Herrera. There was one massive trade in the league, and it was involving these Milwaukee Brewers, although we're not going to be facing the starter they acquired. Who did they get? Well, Kevin Gausman is a Brewer, and they gave up, here's a funny one, Jacob Misiorowski, who looks really good. I'm happy for the Blue Jays to get him. But they also got back Arjun Namala, who they traded to the Brewers last year for Joey Weimer and Daniel Guillarte. Anyways, I will do my due diligence. We could use a couple upgrades during this deadline. You can never have enough pitching, but also if we can find someone for, I don't even know really, to be honest. I'm happy with Arias at short. He's playing good defense. I'm okay with Pache in center. He's playing good defense. And I'm not too thrilled with what we're getting from Terang this year. Last year he was getting on base 70 points, 70% of the time more. It's kind of like a weird way of putting it, but, he lost 70 points in his OBP, which is not great. But again, these are all guys who, even though they're all hitting well below league average, they're all on pace for about 1.5 to 2 WAR, which from 7.89 is fine. Besides that, though, I will look around the league, and I don't think any other trades are going to happen, although it's possible. And I'll get back to you if they do. I spent about 10 minutes looking around the league, trying to trade for, who was it I was trying to get? Jeffrey Springs, but that was not going to happen. I was trying to give up Nastrini and a couple prospects for him, but they were not having it. Anyways, we made no more trades. The roster is kind of where it's at. You can see we've got a bunch of good players, but still the depth in this roster is not fantastic. However, we did just have our best month yet at 17-6, which, if we can keep that up, we're going to be more than fine. We are a game and a half up in the division on the Tigers. The Twins, who won the World Series last year, are only 500, but they are getting fairly unlucky, being the 4th best offense, and I guess 10th best pitching is why they're not doing well. But that's what I mean. If you're a pitching first team, you can steal close games. Anyways, around the league, Kyle Tucker is your AL Batter of the Month. Acuna is your NL Batter of the Month. Look at that. Sergio Herrera, even though he wasn't amazing this month, 3.28 ERA is good, but he's your AL Pitcher of the Month. And Yuri Perez, who's a beast in this game, is NL Pitcher of the Month. Rookies go to Sergio Herrera and Tyron Liranzo, who they got from us, hilariously, who we claimed on waivers. And this was the Key Brian Hayes trade. You know what? I'm happy for him. Good for you, Tyron, for being good there. In this month's player development update, Brock Wilken, I don't love that he's going down, but again, even if he's a platoon guy for us, he's going to crush lefties, and that's kind of all we need. That's still a valuable player. Besides that, not much in the way of development. Jesus Romero, who I don't even know who this is, scouting discovery from May this year. He looks okay, to be honest. But anyways, we are going down the stretch now. 2 more months in the season. We got August and September, and a few games in October. We need to keep this up and keep playing well. I think we're officially hot. Another sweep here against the Brewers. We won a close game. We won a game where we scored a lot, and then we shut them out. George Kirby threw 6 shutout in that game. And our bullpen was fantastic. Crochet, since moving to the pen last year, has been really good for us, as we knew he would be. But yeah, this is why I'm saying a $10 million elite reliever is a good contract to have. We face Detroit now, which is a huge series. We're 3.5 games up on them in the division, 17 games over 500, which is pretty crazy. Again, since that 3-13 start, we're 27 games over 500, which is really, really good, if you can believe it. So we're gonna try and win this series here against Detroit. I'll keep you guys around for game 1. Why not? We'll see if we can win it. And we do 5-4, a close one, where the bullpen really tried to blow it, huh? Nardi, Crochet, Leisure. Chirullo has been fantastic for us. What a minor league signing this was, because we're going to have him. I know he's 32, but we have him for 6 years if we want. But a 3.46 ERA is more than good enough for us. Now we're 4.5 up on the Tigers. Let's see if we can win in a Sergio Herrera start, coming off of a rookie and pitcher of the month. That would be nice. We do. 6-4 now. Chicago win streak at 8, as it says there. We're just getting clutch hitting. We're killing teams. We're beating the good teams. We're beating the teams we need to. Let's see if Nastrini can get us a 3rd straight sweep here. And he does. Wow. 3-0. Nastrini has been unreal. Since that message that said, yeah, I'm actually not feeling good in my arms, sir. Yeah, I don't think so. 7 scoreless, 7 with 1 run, and 6 1/3 scoreless. That'll play. That's 9 in a row wins now. Yeah, wow. So I will keep it going here. Well, here's a big moment. We have moved to 20 games over 500. Our runs against in the AL has improved to 1st, as is our defense. That is just the way I want to see it. Bullpen ERA is just over 3, which is fantastic. I want to give a shout out to Tyler Ivey, who in 54 2/3 innings has an ERA below 1. 3 FIP. But that's what good defense can do for a man behind him. Part of the reason why we've really pulled ahead of Detroit, who now is tied with Minnesota here, is Colt Keith is out for 6 weeks. That is a huge loss for them. Braden Montgomery has been, kind of a little slowing down for them, but still, we have really just been picking it up ourselves. Once again, this month we're playing good. Last 2 months combined 28-11, which is just unreal baseball we're playing. Being healthy, and getting really lucky with the lack of injuries, but still, I just wanted to highlight that and how well we're playing as a team. We are playing unreal baseball right now. The whole pitching staff has been just bonkers good. Look at this. We have not allowed a run in 3 games, and the one game we did allow a run, we lost in extras, and the game before that, we also didn't allow a run. We've allowed 1 run in the first 9 innings in the last 5 games, and the game before that was a 2-1 win. We're keeping the ball off we're keeping the other team off the scoreboard very, very well. If you look at the league home here, we have the fewest runs allowed in the entire majors by 43, the best defense, and the best bullpen ERA by almost a full run. All that is to say we're a good team. The Red Sox are the antithesis of us being ridiculously good offensively, actually, and pitching-wise. This is a crazy team. This is probably a favorite to win the World Series. I was hoping we could catch them as, we're playing really, really good baseball, right? We are 27 games over 500, 13 games in the lead over the defending champion Twins. I'm pretty confident to say we're going to make the playoffs at this point. Obviously, magic number doesn't matter at this point, with a month and change to go. We are 3 games behind the Sox for the number 1 seed in the AL, and the Dodgers as well are playing really, really good baseball over there in the NL West. But all that's to say is the entire pitching staff has been just ridiculously good this month. We are playing even better baseball than we did last month. 17-6 in July and 19-6 in August thus far. It's very, very fun and good to see. I deleted my mail by accident on the 1st of September, but we're going to take a look at the players of the month, and I'll spoil it for you. We won all of them in the AL. Colson Montgomery had a pretty ridiculous month, hitting .380 with 9 tanks for a 1151 OPS. That's definitely a reason why we were so good that month. Acuna in the NL wins it again. He's having a monster season for them. In the AL, the start of the month was Himet Chiruryo, whose ERA is down to 2.9. That'll play. Michael McGreevy won it for the Rockies as a reliever, even though he's listed as a starter. Sure. And the rookie of the month was also Chiruryo, as Tanaka is just having a bonkers rookie season for the Cubs. Are they good? They're not they are in a playoff spot, but yeah. Anyways, looking at the standings with a month to go, the Red Sox are running away with the AL East. We are running away with the AL Central. The AL West is pretty close still, with the Astros 3.5 up on the Rangers. Phillies are up on 5.5 on the Mets. Cardinals are up 5 on the Reds, and the Dodgers are running away with the NL West. Your wild card standings look as so. We are hoping to, catch and pass the Red Sox for the number 1 seed in the AL, as they're only 2 games ahead of us. Let's check if we face them at all. We do. Big 3-game series in Boston in the middle of September, and that's the only time we'll face them this year. Did we face them before? We must have. We had a 4-game set at home against them. We split that 2-2. Man, remember this bad start to the year, April? What a thing of the past. 77 and 48 since then. Really, really, really good baseball we're playing. It's great. We have made it to that series against the Red Sox, half a game behind them. We continue to play fantastic baseball. We're 32 games over 500. They're 33. We have the same number of wins, but we have 1 more loss. So if we can take 2 of 3 here, we are going to be the number 1 seed in the AL for at least now. Let's see the pitching matchups. Well, I'm not sure, but they have Whitlock, Cutter, and Seth Lugo. I'll keep you guys here for this series. Oh, look, Junior Caminero hit 3 homers in the game. Good for them. How are the Rays doing this year? Because they've been dog shit. Oh, they're still dog shit, but a little less dog shit. Have they called up anybody? No. Oh, Basayo's ratings are falling off. Anyways, at Boston, this is going to be a tough series against the best team in the AL. Let's see what Nick Nastrini can give us in Game 1. He's been pretty good. I don't think he's lost a start in the last few months. Many of our starters haven't, to be fair. Anyways, Game 1, Nastrini versus Whitlock. We get shut out. We lose 4-0. All right. Game 2 is going to be Kirby versus Seth Lugo, who's had a tough year for them. This is the guy we have to beat up on. And we win 3-0. A shutout for Kirby. Throws 6 scoreless. He's been just ridiculously good for us this year. 3 runs is enough for that game. And now it's the big one. Kyle Hurt, who's been our worst starter. A lot of decisions. He had got blown up in one of his starts, but besides that, he's been pretty good. He's probably the odd man out in a playoff series, so this is kind of a risky one here against Cutter Crawford, who has been just dreadful for the Red Sox this year. Anyways, let's see if we can score. We can. 7-4. Kyle Hurt is good enough. Didn't record the win, but that's fine. Michael Ciani has been terrible. 19 OPS plus, -1 WAR. I don't even know why he's still on the roster, to be honest, but I have him there basically as a pinch runner / pinch fielder. Anyways, yeah, that's great news. We are half a game up with the best record in the AL, 90-57, and that means we have clinched a playoff spot for 2026. 3 more wins or losses by the Twins, and we are going to clinch the AL Central. That's pretty exciting news. I don't think we're going to reach 100 wins. We'd have to go 10-5. Actually, it's possible based on how we're playing. Let's find out who we play down the stretch. It's going to be the Cubs, the Guardians, the Padres, the Phillies, and then the Mets. All right, well, I will see you for the end. With 6 games left in the season, we are 97-59. Just an unreal turnaround for this White Sox team, as obviously we've clinched the Central. We have not yet clinched the #1 seed, but we are going to be close to it. We're 3 games up on the Red Sox for that title. Not going to get the, pseudo-President's Trophy in the MLB, I don't think, as the Dodgers are 99-58. But I'm bringing you around for the last 6 games of the season to see if we can hit the triple-digit win mark. We've got 3 in Philly and then 3 in New York to face the Mets. Let's see if we can do it. This is going to be a tough one. Look at the pitchers we're facing here. Jeez. McClanahan, Nola, Wheeler, then Turnbull, and Gallen. We're going to have to hit and keep them off the board. Anyway, first game, as you see, Christian Pache is day-to-day for 2 days, but whatever. First game against Philly. Let's see if we can win it. We lose by 1. It's a shame. Next game is also against Philly, and we lose it by 1. That's a shame. Chirullo, let's see if you can win us one. Ooh, that's a tough injury for Louis Bob, but we went 11-1 as Samuel Zavala, who's been fantastic for us since we've called him up. 3 WAR and 126 OPS plus in 96 games. He had 3 RBIs and 3 walks. As you can see, a bunch of news happening. Nothing much that I care about right now. Louis Bob's injured for a week, but we're not going to IL him, obviously. We're just going to call up another outfielder as there is expanded rosters. Who are we going to call up here? Let's find out. I can take off the filter. It'll be Dom Fletcher because he's on the 40-man already. Cool. 3 more games. Can we go 2-1 in this series against the Mets facing Gallen, Turnbull, and Boyd? Nastrini for game 1. We lose 6-4 as that's an unfortunate injury as Gabriel Arias has gone down with a quad strain for 4 to 5 weeks. I will get that sorted and I will see you in a second. We have called up Addison Barger to be a backup infielder and backup first baseman as well. That's a tough injury for us to have going into the playoffs. We're hoping that in these last 2 games we don't face any more injuries, as look at all these first places in the pitching and defense side of things. That is just what I want to see. Anyways, our ace George Kirby goes up against Spencer Turnbull. We have to win both of these if we want to hit 100 wins. And the Red Sox are also a game behind us here, so we're hoping to keep out in front of them and maintain home field advantage throughout the playoffs. Let's see. First game, we lose. We are not going to hit 100 wins. It takes so much longer to simulate a game while I'm recording, but whatever. It's fine for a few times a year. Last game of the season, Sergio Herrera against Jordan Montgomery. Let's see if we can hit 99. We do. As George Kirby wins the ERA crown. That's pretty fun. So the White Sox finish year 3 at 99-63. I'm very, very, very happy with that. Herrera down the stretch was pretty unreal for us. You can see his FIP lowered to 3.76. In a year where he has good BABIP, I can see his ERA being in the high 2s, low 3s, assuming we keep him because he's a bit of a clubhouse distraction apparently. His ratings are pretty good. BABIP versus lefties is way lower than BABIP versus righties, which is pretty weird. But, I guess it might make sense with this pitch mix of slider, which, goes into lefties. Changeup might help that. Sinker would not help that. And splitter might help that as well. Anyways, let's do a little end-of-season recap here. Nico Horner wins the NL batting title. Masataka Yoshida, what a year. Jeez. Wins the AL batting title. Let's delete all that bullshit. Okay, let's do a little team recap here. As Danny Jansen, since we got him, wow, he really slowed down, huh? Jesus Christ. Yeah, I remember looking in August when he was great. Did not have a good September and has had a dreadful October thus far, but he's built for the playoffs. Come on, cuh. Anyways, Jose Trevino pretty much was what I expected when I brought him in. 30 OPS plus, but was ridiculously good on defense. And as a captain and backup catcher, that is all I need for him. Colson put up 6 WAR, led the league in runs. He was fantastic for us this year. 38 homers and 100 RBIs for the first time in his career while playing plus defense at first. Super thrilled with what we have from him. Brock Wilken had 316 plate appearances, was actually ended up falling off a little bit versus lefties and picking it up versus righties. There's a world he sees more playing time next year, but he was pretty good for us overall, I'd say. Barger, we just called up. He's been dreadful. Bryce Terang, 2.3 WAR with only a 76 OPS plus, 76 WRC plus. Was not very good hitting wise, although 327 OBP in the 9-hole, I'm not really too concerned about. So he was fine. Key Bryan was great for us this year. In the first 2 seasons of simulating in the save, he was well below league average, but he really figured it out here on the south side. OPS'd over 800 and played his common brand of great defense, which is why we got him in the first place. 4 WAR from him, and we're paying him. Let's find out what we're paying him. It is not much. 4.2 million, and then he goes up to 4.8. Like that is just great value from him. Arteaga, who's now our starting shortstop because we lost. What is his name? We lost Gabriel Arias to the IL for what's going to be most of the playoffs, unfortunately. He was fine. I'll take a 90 WRC plus from him. He only had 200 plate appearances, but he again was pretty great defensively, especially at shortstop in 50 games, which is what he's there for. Juan Soto was himself, got on base 41% of the time, led the league in walks, had another low BABIP year, but whatever. This is what we're paying him to do, and only 27.5 for the next 4 or 5 years. So that's pretty good. Christian Pache did not hit at all this year relative to last year. I expected this to fall off, and it did, but he still put up a 2 WAR year thanks to phenomenal outfield defense, which is, again, why we have him. Pretty sure you're noticing a trend here, and that's how we're going to win 99 games. But yeah, no, I'm happy with what he did here. Dom Fletcher we called up. He was not good, but he's there for his defense. Louis Bob was not himself this year. He only played 100 games, to be fair. Still had 90 RBI, so I mean, there's that. Down the stretch, he was just great for us, I believe. Maybe not great, but 850 OPS in September, and actually I lied. He wasn't all that great, but again, he played great defense out there and right. Coming off an MVP, you'd rather him not lose 5 WAR, but that is just baseball, I guess. Zavala was such a bright spot for us since we called him up. Look at this year he had. Just lovely. He's probably carved himself out a spot here for the near foreseeable future, at least. And that is all of our hitters we're going to go over. Pitching, we're going to sort by position. Chirurria was great for us. He got very lucky with a 223 BABIP against, but he's got a good BABIP stat. Great in the clubhouse. I mean, I'm thrilled with what we got from him from minor league free agent signing. Yes, please. Herrera was good for us. 4.2 ERA is a little higher than you'd expect based on his FIP. But again, 4 WAR. The league recognizes how good he is and is going to be, hopefully. Again, only 26 and signed to this long-term extension by us. I'm leaning towards keeping him based on how good I think he can generate to be. But I'm very happy with that. Kyle Hurt as a starter for us this year. Led the league in walks. It was not fantastic, but as a 5th starter, 4.5 ERA is fine. He's someone we're going to look to improve upon next year, obviously, but we're fine with that. Weird year because low BABIP, but FIP was just around ERA. Kind of, again, as I was saying earlier about Herrera, that's a sequencing thing probably, but unlucky a little bit. George Kirby was phenomenal for us. Led the AL in ERA, walk per nine, whip, and WAR. Would not be shocked to see him up for Cy Young consideration. He's got a career ERA with us under 3. That is my ace. I love him. Nick Nastrini was, once again, very good for us. The 3 years he's been here, his ERA has been pretty much around the mid-3s. So for what he is as a 3 starter for us, that is lovely, lovely, lovely. I love the high BABIP, and I love the high, or like low BABIP, I guess. High BABIP stat and a high home run against. If he had better control, this is a pseudo-ace. But again, we're not paying him much, and we might look to sell high on him considering he's going into his ARB years, but we will see. Relievers. Look at the bounce back here from Prelander. Can I trust him in the playoffs? I guess we'll find out. But since he had this development update, where am I looking? Since he had this development update, he's looked very good. So we're happy there. Cleavinger, whatever. Shout out to Cleavage. You gotta love it. He was phenomenal for us this year as a lefty specialist. You can see his lefty splits. He had a 1.9 ERA against them, struck out 16.5 per 9 against lefties alone. So he was really good. I'm really happy with him. And of course, he's a playoff demon with his 95 stuff and 65 BABIP against first lefties. DL Hall honestly settled down. He was great down the stretch for us, I believe. Yeah. At a 0 ERA in August, 3 ERA, 3.3 in September, and 3 in October. That is fine. We are more than fine with what he did for us. And as a reliever, had a 3.3 and 3.8 FIP. He is a reliever. We tested him out. We tried it out as a starter. Not going to happen. That's fine, though. I'm happy with a good bullpen, obviously. Tyler Ivey, what a man this is. 1 ERA in 62 1/3 innings. I mean, if there's a sell high guy, this is him. I don't really know what more to say. He was just phenomenal for us. Only allowed 2 home runs and 7 earned runs in 62 1/3 innings. Allowed 2 earned runs in his second to last appearance, which brought his ERA soaring up from 0.75 on the year. Cody Morris was also great for us. Another low BABIP guy whose FIP does not represent this. And I do not trust him in the playoffs, even though he had a 1.86 ERA, but that FIP scares me a little bit. Anyway, he again is someone we'll probably look to sell high on, but that's what having good infield defense does to a man, so that's why I do it. Andrew Nardi, remember we improved his velocity. He was very good for us again in 98 2/3 innings, had a 3.2 ERA, put up over 1 WAR as a reliever. I'm never going to complain about that, so we're happy there. Crochet as a full-time reliever in 95 1/3 innings, threw up a 2.5 ERA, won 10 games as a reliever, which is hilarious because he's in a stopper role, which basically means you just put him in close games, high leverage spots. I love it. He was fantastic for us. If he can bring that walk per 9 down, he's going to be a mega reliever. Jordan Leisure really took a step back this year. It was not the best for us, but I still think his ratings show a good reliever. And that is it. That's the team summary. We're pretty happy overall there. To the league, we'll look at league leaders. AL, you can see your batting average leaders. Nobody OPS'd 1. Judge was fantastic, led the league in homers, OPS, WRC+, and WAR. Cole Young is your on-base king. Really? Ahead of both Colson and Soto. Interesting. Devers on this massive Red Sox team was phenomenal, and almost 130 RBIs. Jackson Holliday leads the league in stolen bases and caught stealing. That's always funny. And in the NL, you can remember Nico Horner won the batting title. Ellie put up 9.9 fucking WAR. 40-40 season, led the league in triples. BABIP 400. Oh my god. This is on track to be a surefire Hall of Famer, but what a player. What a year he had. Matt Olson led the league in RBI. Acuna also had 130. Jesus. What a year from Ronald. 130 ribbies, 130 runs. Holy cow. 40-40? That MVP race is nuts. It's going to go to Ellie, but yeah, wow. Jordan Walker was also phenomenal, putting up 7 WAR. And pitching leaders, I'm pretty sure you're going to see a lot of underlines here, meaning us. We lead the league in ERA, not as much as I was expecting. And WAR, Herrera was 5th in WAR. Of course, we have 2 guys on the walk leaderboards, as you don't love. I want to see BABIP. Yep, we're always going to have at least 1 or 2 guys here with our good infield defense. You can see baseball reference WAR. So this is a F WAR, by the way. Yeah. We lead the league in FIP, and we have 3rd place there. Kirby leads in walk per 9. Yeah, pretty great pitching year for us, all things considered. NL, Joe Musgrove with the ERA title. That's great for him. Yamamoto once again wins win title and strikeouts and WAR. That's your probable Cy Young winner, I'd say. Although it could be Musgrove, to be fair. Snell walked 107 guys. Jesus Christ. Not great. Matt Waldron in Colorado. That's a funny match. Led the league in losses. And I'm always curious about fielding leaders. We'll do combined. Who was the best fielder in baseball this year? It was Vaughn Grissom at second base. Wow, 17 zone range at second base is bonkers. Good for him. Best catcher's ERA goes to, wow, would you look at that? We're first and second in catcher's ERA. Love it. If you look at the league home as a whole, we had fewer runs against than anybody in baseball, better bullpen ERA than anybody in baseball, and only the Padres bested us in starters ERA. We had the best defense in baseball, most stolen bases, as the Dodgers scored 900 runs. 3 guys with 100 ribbies. Wow, this team is going to be a tough out in the playoffs for whoever goes up against them. And why don't we find out? We're obviously not going to do the playoffs in this episode, but we'll go until we find out who we're facing. So you have Rangers, Orioles here in the AL Wildcard Series, as well as Twins, Astros, and Reds, Padres against Cubs, Phillies. Here's a look at your final standings. A lot of good teams this year. Who was the worst team? It was the Royals and Marlins tying at 100 losses. Sorry to them. Playoff tree. Let's see if we're going to be facing the Rangers or the Orioles. I have no preference, obviously. I want to face whoever wins. And that looks like it's going to be... Ooh, we're going to Game 3 over there. It is going to be the Baltimore Orioles. That's who we're facing in the ALDS over there, and that is going to start in the next episode. I'm looking forward to it. We'll take a look at them, and we will try to beat them. We did that last year, I believe. Anyways, yeah, I appreciate y'all checking this out. What a year we ended up having, all things considered. And yeah, I appreciate it. Done, no.